that show. So we're watching all these document dumps.
Yeah.
It almost seems like I'm going back to the 90s. Bill Clinton with Jeffrey Epstein. Now we're trying to walk away from this story.
No. We're in 2011 is when Bill Clinton goes into Vanity Fair and threatens them and says, we don't want you to write this story. Here's the important part. It was in 2007 that he was convicted in Florida of soliciting a minor for prostitution. So at that point, he was a convicted pedophile, a sex offender, and yet Bill Clinton is still fighting for him. Here's the interesting thing. These names are names that have been out there in the public for a bit, but now there's a little more window dressing that we have. You know, Bill Clinton going in and saying, don't write this story at Vanity Fair. Why? It kind of makes you wonder how he got that great deal from the federal government that gave him, that gave Epstein and his co-defendants immunity in perpetuity. You know, was Bill Clinton behind that as well, with the Justice Department taking that case away from the local DA and then sending it back after they literally let the statute of limitations run? But then you talk about 50 times Bill Clinton is mentioned in just these papers alone. Then you've got Stephen Hawkins. Stephen Hawkins, I mean, who even thought about that? And with Stephen Hawkins, Epstein tells Maxwell, tell the girls they will pay him whatever we need to pay them to not talk about Stephen Hawkins and the sex orgy with young girls. So then there's even more window dressing. David Copperfield. Remember, he was accused previously of sexual assault before this. And he says to one of the girls, he said, did you know that you girls are being paid to find other girls? So there's more window dressing that's coming out with this. And every day we're getting more releases. The question is, why were these names sealed? Why didn't we know about it? What was the government's benefit in sealing these names?
Senator Marsha Blackburn was relentless in doing this and getting us to this point. We'll see what happens next. This is what the Clintons said. There's no evidence to support the claims. They were strenuously denied by a representative of Vanity Fair's longtime former editor. Now this. Let's talk about Hunter Biden, because to me, he's really punking his dad. Now he's coming out with a documentary to tell his side of the story about addiction, his side of the story about being a dad, trying to make ends meet. This is a quote from the LA Times describing the Hunter Biden documentary. It's a documentary that will allow Biden, the person, the father, the husband, to be presented without a middleman, painting, selling his art, raising his son, and navigating everyday life as a sober adult while denying one child, an ongoing criminal investigation, and in the crosshairs of Trump and his supporters. With the documentary, Biden and to some extent Morris, that's his person who's financing his life, possibly get the last word. Does this help him?
Oh, it hurts him. But you know what makes me angry? The guy had an opportunity to testify before Congress, where there are Democrats as well as Republicans. He snubbed his nose at Congress. He said, I'm not going to go.
Well, he wanted to go in front of the cameras, but not behind closed doors.
Right. He didn't want to be questioned by Congress. And now his sugar brother, who apparently gave him $4.9 million, I don't know why, they want to do we have a documentary. We have the laptop. We have the emails, the pictures, the daily drug runs. I mean, all of that is there. Why is he trying to rehabilitate himself? Nobody gives a darn about him. His father and the team have to be beside himself. But then again, Joe Biden said his son's the smartest guy he ever met, and he talks to him about a lot of issues. I mean, this guy is pathetic. He's nothing but a problem. He's been a problem from the get-go. They ought to just put him in jail. And it's not because of anyone but himself. For these tax crimes alone, for the gun crime alone.